Hey Dragon Dreamers, Gina Virginia Casella here, and the one behind the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Come dream with us. Your soul tribe awaits you. I do all kinds of things. Gemstone readings, mind reprogramming, energy medicine. At this time in my life, I've been redirected by Source to bring us together. The Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective through an umbrella term called Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness. You're invited to dream with us. Through dreams half remembered and half misunderstood, we fill in the gaps for each other because we're all one. There's all kinds of times and dates lined up that I would absolutely adore for you to be a part of. And one of my favorite things to do is to assert that the Akashic records are not a permanent record because your past never defines you. And we can do what's called living consciously so we can die consciously. United are we. Be free. Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective awaits you. Dream with us. My name is Gina Virginia Casella, creator and visionary of Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness. See you in dreams. Hi, Dragon Dreamers. Gina Virginia Casella here, and thank you so much for joining me today on live hangouts. And a big dragon welcome to all of the new Dragon Dreamers. Every day I send out posts on Buy Me a Coffee, and it's just such a thrill. The numbers are growing. It's never about the quantity, it's always about the quality. And we are a high quality soul tribe collective. And I'm so thankful for everybody who is participating either in my Facebook group, YouTube, Buy Me a Coffee, through Rumble. Show me some loving dragons. Subscribe to my YouTube. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. We can get the super chat going and all those other features. And I really want to take a moment today to honor the conference that was hosted, Promise of Spring. It was the first ever. It's over a month now. And today in my Facebook group, I was honoring our dragon speakers along with our dragon healer, Rick Gallagher, and our dragon monitor, Julia Ankerhaven. And so let me just take you through these slides here. In the description, make sure you check out my Buy Me a Coffee, my YouTube. You can absolutely find information there. Thank you for your story medicine. Promise of Spring 2026. It is with deep gratitude. The Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective appreciates all of our medicine bearers. And if you don't know what a medicine bearer is, let me quickly bring you up to date. This is my interpretation. So I believe that, all of us, we've been forced to shut up, persecuted in some way, shape, or form, and we can't shine our light. We can't be our authentic selves. And all of us are warriors in some way, shape, or form, fighting whatever battle we need to fight. And that's the thing. There's fighting and resistance when there shouldn't be. And so we become the confused warrior because it's like, well, shouldn't we stand up for what we believe in? Shouldn't we fight for what's right? Shouldn't we be that voice? And it's all of these shoulda statements. And yeah, it's true. You should stand up for yourself. You should stand up for others, right? But if you're getting beaten up in the process, or even worse, murdered, it's kind of a problem, right? And so I call this the confused warrior, because as a confused warrior, this is just simply confusing, because warriors don't understand recoil. They only understand toil, even if it means dying in the honor of protecting this civilization, the community, right? So warriors are very, very confused in this state because they have to recoil, they got to dial it back, and they learn the hard way that, you know what, there are times in life where you need to stay small to stay safe. There are times in life where you need to be quiet. There's times in life where don't rock the boat. It's not a good idea for all kinds of reasons, mostly cancel culture. So the confused warrior becomes the medicine keeper, the wisdom keeper. So you just stay hush, keep practicing in the dark, share your wisdom in the dark. And when it's safe to actually share without worrying about the things that you had to worry about, you transform into the medicine bearer, because now you're not just withholding the wisdom, the medicine, you're sharing the wisdom medicine. Finally, this eagle condor metaphors that we work with, you can fly. And it's not that you weren't flying with eagle condor, your epigenetics, your environment that you have absolutely no control over was inhibiting this growth. And so the people who come on my show, Story Species, Story Medicine, it's linked to the conferences. 2026, it's the first year we kick all of this off. So those of you just tuning in, big welcome to you. Just reviewing March 14th, Promise of Spring, our special date that we had. So the people who presented, they're not just your regular folks. These are people who have gone through this experience where it wasn't safe to be themselves. They were either persecuted in this life, a past life. A lot of us dragon dreamers, we get made fun of. I know a lot of you tuning in, you've sent me nice messages telling me that you love me, you support me, but you're never going to subscribe, you're never going to like or comment on anything because respectfully, you're worried your employer, the community that you live in, will frown on the fact that you even tune into this kind of content. Never mind being a speaker, but just tuning into this kind of content, a lot of dragon dreamers feel they're being put at risk. And so it's very risque for a lot of you just to be tuning in. And I absolutely respect and appreciate that. There's a lot of you, you're watching, you're tuning in, and you know what? You got to change the channel. You got to be on it because you never know who's going to come home and watch you being your authentic self, connecting with folks who are like you. So you're not alone. And that's why these conferences are so important to me. And the medicine bearers at the conference, they have all different kinds of backgrounds, but you know what? They know what it's like to be made fun of and to be teased and to be shut down and to deal with cancel culture. And do they have perfect lives? No, but it's pretty perfect for them, right? These are the healed healers that come to share their story medicine. So let me just show you some of the slides here just to review. We had, this is in no particular order. When I uploaded it, it was in the order. Julia Anchorhaven. So Julia was our dragon monitor, and she's actually going to be a speaker at our next conference, Summer Days. So in the next week and a half or so, I'm going to be making little videos and releasing our other presenters. And I feel like it's really cool. Somebody like Julia, she likes to be involved, and now actually going to be sharing her story medicine officially. So that's really awesome. This picture you're looking at was from the March 14th conference. And I asked all the speakers to share a little message about dreams. And I read all of this when on March 14th on the big day. It's kind of small here, but Julia was saying, in these challenging times, it is important to center our energies, to focus on the beauty within and around us, asking the questions. What else is possible here? And that's a quote from Julia. And her link is there, youtube.com/@Anchorhaven. And Julia, she's always pulling tarot cards and stuff like that, having conversations, very interested in other people's stories, sharing her story. How do you connect? And I don't know if she still does it, but she was doing Wednesday wellness. So make sure you show Julia some loving. She's an oracle alchemist. She's got all kinds of experience behind her. Let me show you the next person here. I've introduced these folks formally, so go back and watch the conference. The conference is about 10 hours long, but I did take the time to break it up into 1 hour mini videos, so you can just scroll through. This one here, my good friend Brian Rue. Brian also has quite the plethora of a background. And like you, he knows what it's like to have interesting experiences. And when I asked Brian for a special message, his special message was, as community networking expands, discussions continue to evolve, nurturing humility, since many of the answers remain uncertain. Community allows us to be seen and heard, to listen to others, and to thrive. And that's such a powerful quote. I asked a lot out of the presenters, and I thought this was a nice little touch, was a little special message to believe in hopes and dreams. Suze Gallagher, she was a vendor and a presenter for us. And Suze, she's also been on my show a couple of times now. She's got her second book out, The Little Ones. And it's actually more than 25 anniversaries now. So make sure you show Sue Gallagher some love. Visit her website, thelittlediaries.com. And Sue's like me, once you start talking about dreams and oracle, it's hard for us to stop. So set your timer if you're connecting with Sue's. And Sue's, her special message was, what are your dreams inviting you to do? And all the presenters gave a phenomenal presentation. So make sure you check it out. And you can look forward to Julia's in June. Rick Gallagher, Rick did not present, but he provided us with some healing, 3 different occasions playing the singing bowls for us. And Rick, keeping it short and sweet, power and simplicity, his message was, you are loved. We also had Michael Kopp join us. Michael has a big background as well, hosts his own show. I forgot to mention Suze and Rick, they also have a YouTube channel, and they have a billboard that says, you are loved. You are loved on the side of the highway, which is really resonating with a lot of people. And back to Michael here. His link is there as well. Make sure you show Michael some love, visit his show, watch his shows, like them, share them. Michael's special message, dreams are visions into our true selves. Dreams open our minds to portals we could not find or believe possible where our conscious mind, with our conscious mind. Dreams are keys that help us find our true paths in life and unlock our inner truth about ourselves. Okay, so straight up, maybe neon pink wasn't the right color to use. But at the time, the neon pink was working, and the things that I had there weren't as wordy. Something for me, my own learning curves to keep in mind. I know Alex has a big one, but I'm going to read these here. Again, I took the time to read all of this. Me, Gina Virginia Casella, yours truly. I also presented. I shared my story about the Gnome King and the 2 angels coming out of my wall. And it's hard to believe, but I tell people this all the time, it's really only the past couple of years, few years, more recently, the last year, that I can share my story without my teeth chattering, without getting goosebumps all over my body, or without, feeling nervous or something like that. And so it's one thing to think about your stories, but to actually present and share them, even in a like-minded community who supports you, it's still, that feeling of riskiness is still there. And so, hi, Sheila, Spiral Sister. I see you there in the chat. Good to have you here joining us. Sheila's going to be our keynote speaker for Summer Days. So I just finished telling everybody, Sheila, that they're going to have to wait. But now you've, when you follow me, you get in on stuff like this. Okay, so spoiler alert, Sheila's going to be one of the speakers. And my special message that I had was, I hope you have the courage to be yourself and to be all you can be. That's something that came to me when I was a teacher. And one of my students at the end of the year, the mother, this was kindergarten, so the mother and the student wanted to do something special for me. And so they got a keychain with that quote, I hope you have the courage to be yourself and to be all you can be. And there's like a little ruler and apple, and I still have it. So it was really special for me. And Sheila's commenting, woohoo! I'll put it up here. Yeah, yes, I'm very much looking forward to June 13th. And I'm looking forward to it too, Sheila. And Sheila's like me. She's a bit of a keener. She likes to get her checklist done. So the other presenters still got to send me some stuff, but it's not due for a while. But Sheila, she's checked off her list completely now. So I really like that, and looking forward to it as well. And what I want to do actually is, after every conference, give it a good month, let people digest it, and then do exactly what I'm doing now. So I'll be doing this again with Sheila and the other presenters from Summer Days. And I'm working with some folks behind the scenes, and it's not going to be anything major, power and simplicity, right? But what I would like to do is have a little slideshow. So you can find that on my YouTube with basically the slides that I'm showing you on there. And I recently, just this morning, shared it on my Facebook as well. But the point I wanted to make was, the end of 2026, I'm going to put all this together. So there's going to be like 4 or 5 minute, a 4 or 5 minute video of all of the thank yous of the presenters and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to this great unfolding. And that's just it. It's an unfolding. I've got a strong teaching background behind me, but it's my first time on my own hosting conferences. I've been a part of conferences my whole teaching career. I was super involved with the union, the British Columbia Teachers Federation, and carrying all those high quality items with me forward into this new matrix. And the thing is, I keep saying, well, my new matrix, my new matrix. Well, it's not new anymore. I'm living and breathing it, right? It's the now matrix. And so I'm really enjoying the now. I was thinking about that before I came live, and just provided somebody with a gemstone reading. Now I had a little bit of a break. Okay, now I'm live here on Wednesday, and I really like this routine. Next Wednesday too, or one of these Wednesdays, I'm going to need your help too, Dragon Dreamers, because I want to go live on StreamYard without going live to the public. And so I'm wondering if there's anybody out there who, I don't know the best way to do it, like maybe create a StreamYard link and make it unlisted and then send it in my Buy Me a Coffee and then do a test, because that's my intention for the conference. If you buy a ticket right now for the conference, there's 2 links. There's a StreamYard link, so you can access the YouTube, and there's another link, a Zoom link, because if we have any tech issues, I want people to have a backup link. You know what I mean? So just really planning in advance here, and absolutely open to any feedback, constructive criticism, to really smooth over all of these conferences. It's always a bit tricky online, right? And so all of the presenters, by my request, sent me their slideshows and also a pre-recorded video, just in case we have tech issues. And so the presenters for Summer Days are doing the same thing. So I really appreciate that. It scared some people away, but they were like, okay, I don't know how to make a PowerPoint, but if somebody shows me the ropes, then I'll do it, So if you look on the playlist for the conferences, I thought, well, I might as well just share it with everybody. So a little bit of energy exchange, right? Help me, I'll help you. Let's build the community. Let's get this ball rolling, right? Then there were other people who they were like, you mean I can't just magically show up on that day? Well, I don't want to be a part of your conference. Well, come on, it's online, and those of you who've been following me, the struggle is real, okay? Like a year ago, there's so much backlash, and now this year, it's just, wow, so refreshing, right? And the people who presented at the first ever conference, Promise of Spring, really helped me set the tone and set the precedence of what Dragon Dreamers can anticipate for future conferences. And that really meant a lot to me. So there's just a couple more here to review. Alex Lipton, if you're just tuning in now, I already admitted it, okay? Neon pink wasn't the best color choice for these quotes, but let me just scooch in here a bit closer. Alex, he has a big background too, and Dreaming with Gemstone Gina, I was doing that the last Friday of the month. I don't do that anymore, but Alex was hosting me there for a little bit, and show Alex some love, visit his YouTube, Video Shaman, visit all the presenters, like, subscribe to all their videos. If you don't realize how much it means to somebody when you do that. Am I being heard? Are people listening to me? Is my message getting out? And doing something like subscribing or sharing a video really reinforces. So what did Alex say? He says, his important message to share was dreams are extremely interesting, especially in the context of how we place them in our reality. Are they just subconscious projections? Or are they experiences of something very real? Perhaps they are a very kind of technology that we have not yet actualized. Waking up can be done within a dream, and that's the key to knowing yourself. And that came from Alex Lipton. And yeah, this business of technology, that always gets me thinking all kinds of things, right? And I'd love to know what you think too. And even though, March 14th, promise of spring is over, absolutely keep the comments coming. Even in 20, 40 years from now, where were you? Where are you at now? It's interesting how ideas think or change. You might think back to something somebody said here, and maybe your perspective has been reinforced, 20 years after the fact. Or maybe you're like, you know what? This new technology came out and Alex is right. Turns out dreams are technology, or whatever it is. Sometimes too, it's fun to have these conversations because there's a lot of people who like to write. They like to write science fiction books, and it's like, oh, that sounds like a great storyline. Dreams are technology. This one here, Chris Latour, he has all kinds of stories to share, and I really appreciate Chris. He's a fellow Canadian here, and his special message, like Rick Gallagher, just clean power and simplicity. Everyone has psychic abilities, and you know what? That might entice people, make them feel excited, and it also might scare people and worry them, because when it comes to things like psychic abilities, everybody is psychic. And we all have different capacities. And just like anything, if you can tap into it and work with it, experience it, build a way of knowing, then that's the best case scenario. That's how you really get to know yourself. It's empowering, right? But when you're around an epigenetics, an environment that's very negative, how can you even possibly breathe? Right? And some people out there with psychic abilities, they feel like they're struggling with mental illness or something like that, and even pushed to go on medication when really they're having these supernatural experiences. And I always advocate that the supernatural is very natural, the paranormal is very normal, and there's nothing strange about high strangeness. Are there ethical concerns? Absolutely. Absolutely. But this is all very normal. And we pick and choose, right? We pick and choose Santa Claus. We pick and choose the Tooth Fairy. We pick and choose the Easter Bunny. But, oh, angels, don't talk about that. Or, oh, there was a ghost. Can't talk about ghosts, or a demigod. You can talk about demigods, but only if it's Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior, and in the context of this religion and under this circumstances. And as long as you stay in this box, you're okay. And so I really appreciate Chris and the other presenters, because they really push you to think outside the box. Like, just when you think you know yourself, you don't, right? And when it comes to psychic abilities, some of us, we do things and it scares us. because it's like, whoa, where did that power come from? And what about if you dysregulate and you can't control that power? And these exact kind of conversations are very real. They're very genuine. Nobody's trying to be cool. It's trying to be trying, right? There's a lot of that. And somebody like Chris or any of these presenters, I'll just show you them again. There was Chris. We'll go back to the beginning here. There's Julia, Brian, Suze, Julia Anchorhaven, Brian Rue, Suze Gallagher, Rick Gallagher. We had Michael Comp, Gina Virginia Casella. Not sure if you've heard of her or not. There's Alex Lipton and Chris Lattude. And these are people who ghost stories, interesting dreams, psychic abilities, hypnotherapy, crystals, healing. This is all very normal, everyday conversations for us. And so if you're looking for somebody to connect with, we're your soul tribe. Your soul tribe, we have awaited you. Yes, you. So come and dream with us. We all have our different specializations, right? So there's support out there. You are not alone. Or maybe you don't have experiences, but you're like, you know what? I have a cousin or a neighbor who would really benefit listening to somebody like Chris, or maybe tuning into somebody like Brian. Whatever the case may be, keep us updated. And as the years go by, folks who are presenting in my conference specifically, for me personally, I really like, I don't put anybody on a pedestal, but I really hold them in the highest light, not putting them on a pedestal, but really holding them in the highest light, because when you come on my show, you are being totally vulnerable, right? Completely vulnerable. And I know that there's a lot of hosts out there, and investigators and whatnot, titles aside, who really don't dig deep for the story medicine. And a lot of folks are getting exploited. There's an emphasis on violence, and there's an emphasis on kind of like an action movie. People just want to know the action parts. And what I do is not that. Things like that might come up, but it's never the focus, because the Eagle Condor medicine I'm working with is that we focus on the greater themes. And the greater theme ultimately is that we have community, we have a soul tribe, you're not alone. Don't feel like you're losing your mind. Mental illness, there are concerns about that. Like maybe you are genuinely schizophrenic and have a mental illness. But for what it's worth, dial it back, because I don't think everybody here is struggling with mental illness, right? So uh, dig for that medicine. And if you're interested in being a guest on Story Species, Story Medicine, or taking it up to the next level and being a presenter at one of the conferences, please reach out to me. I like to get the ball rolling as soon as possible, because I know a lot of people, they like to plan a year or two in advance. Just nothing set in stone, but trying to set things in stone, right? So I have people lined up for the Summer Days conference happening in June, which very shortly you're going to hear all about in the next couple of weeks. This is the little advertisement for it. You can look for the boats. And I can't wait. I really can't wait. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the full moon. So the full moon, whew, I honestly, like probably for the last year, every full moon, new moon seems to be intense for me. Feel like that's just a big shedding the snake themes, this business of the horse coming in now and running. And there's even a few full moons and new moons that I almost completely missed. So that's just kind of weird for me, because I was going through a phase, like for multiple years in a row, where I was very in tune with the moon, very, very in tune with the moon cycle. So I feel like there's like a call and a deep desire for me to go back into that cycle. So it's interesting because on the literal level of snake, there's actually 13 moons in the year. There's 13 months in the year, right? There's no such thing as a blue moon. A blue moon means two full moons in 1 month because we have to squishy squashy things into a 12-month calendar, right? But really, there's 13 months. So so I'm just wondering if anybody else is feeling like, yeah, I need to get back into that moon cycle. So typically, when it's the new moon, I work with the magic. Um, I'll wear pink lipstick, beige lipstick, no lipstick. The brown here that I use as like a little blush toner, I'll put the brown to mix the brown lipstick. And my nails are still kind of sensitive to nail polish. I do wear nail polish sometimes, but during the new moon, I like to wear black nail polish because it reminds me of like owls and eagles and talons, and I feel a bit more connected. And during the full moon, I like to wear bright red lipstick, or I'll wear my purpley brighter lipstick color. Not always, but it's something that I attempt to do because it's a form of play and rising to the level of art, rising to the level of hummingbird, high quality items. It's never about hair and makeup. It's just about adding an element of fun, right? So, wondering about you. I made this here. It's a despacho. So a despacho is not something you want to do all of the time. A despacho is something you want to do maybe once or twice a year, if that. And I felt like, you know what? It is despacho time in my life right now because in the summer, I did the energy medicine training. I went through the soul retrieval process. It took a lot longer than anticipated. And then after my shamanic training ended, I was still very much processing it all. And I did what's known as a huaca. So the huaca is something that you you might only do once every few years or something like that. But because it was part of my training, we needed to do it and experience it. And it had to do with indigenous alchemy and making quantum leaps. And that's the thing. We got to be humble here, dragons. Every day we're manifesting day in, day out, shedding snake skins, transforming, transcending, right? But we're not making a quantum leap every single day, right? And a lot of us, we want to do that. We just want to like, I don't like this story anymore. I'm going to just quantum leap to the next stage in my life. And it's like, no, because all that baggage is following you. You're not actually leaping anywhere, right? So, I did my huaca. There's a lot to be said about that. A lot of it's personal. Um, but now it's been a couple of months, maybe even a few months, and things are kind of starting to happen, but that's just it. I need more loud communication from the universe. And the thing about the huaca is that when you do this, you have to commit to saying yes. So you can make whatever requests you have. It needs to be in the interest of the greater good, of course. But ultimately, whatever happens is what happens. And you accept that. And so that's part of the huaca is expressing that, like I accept whatever happens. But in my situation, I just feel like nothing has happened, like nothing positive has happened, nothing negative has happened. Like it's just maybe it has happened, but it's too subtle. There's been some positive things going on in my life, but it's like, is that just in general or is that from the huaca? So I feel like I need a reinforcement. And so I thought, you know what, this full moon, like the last new moon in anticipation rising to this full moon, I really felt the energy. I slept a lot. And you know what? If that's what I need to do, that's what I need to do. And I thought maybe it's time to make a despacho. So this despacho is, I'll tell you about it in a moment, but this despacho is basically like a final thank you part 2 to complement the huaka that I did. So I still accept that you can't go back and change the huaka, okay? But like whatever wisdom I weaved, that's still my strong desire. So and also when I reflected on my own process, I thought, well, you know what? No offense to me, but when I was undergoing my soul retrieval and all of that, and having countless intrusive entities extracted. Again, no offense to me, but even though I set my intention and whatnot, I probably didn't really communicate it to the best of my ability. And when we're communicating things to spirit, we don't have to get hung up on the details and worry about like, oh, I forgot to mention this. Now I'm screwed, like no, spirit gets it. But when I did the huaca, I felt like it was incomplete because I was still going through the integration period, if you will. So I wanted to make a despacho to show thanks and praise and gratitude just for my intentions moving forward. So the despacho, in a nutshell, this isn't meant to be a lesson on despachos. Smells good, but the despacho basically is you take things like seeds, nuts, herbs that are meaningful to you, meaningful to the local environment. You say your prayers, you breathe onto them, you make like a picture with it. You add a lot of intention and symbolism. This is the very gist of it, okay? Wrap it up in paper, and then you make like a present out of it. And you put things in here like sugary treats and chocolate because Pachamama loves chocolate. And then basically you burn this in the fire, or you leave it out in nature, or you bury it in the ground. Some people, they do beautiful despachos with like rose petals, and they say a prayer into each rose petal, and then they release it into the wind, or drop it into the water, let the stream carry it down. But me, I'll just be putting this in my tin can that I have and adding it to the flames. If you leave anything, uh, if you give something to nature, make sure it's not pieces of plastic. Make sure it's things that are going to biodegrade, right? And that's not going to be pollution. So I've done gazpachos before, but this is the first time that I put stuff in here that doesn't break down. It will go into the fire, and arguably, yes, I am polluting because I'm going to be polluting the smoke from the fire, right? But that is going to be part of my symbolism, and my intention is not to do that all the time. And my intention is also to communicate that things that are man-made, like artificial intelligence, things that are man-made, like these markers, help me do spirit work. And so it's also simultaneous messages, like what are better tools that I can use. But anyways, this is really personal to me. So inside, and I've already wrapped it up, but inside there's a passion flaky because I was really craving passion flakies and I was pigging out. And I thought, you know what? I should put one of these to the side. And when I do my gazpacho, put that in there. And I did. And it did cross my mind, oh, there's a passion flaky in there. Maybe I'll just go in and eat it. No, it's for the gazpacho. So there's a bit of discipline and a bit of sacrifice in there too. There's things that I typically have on hand: almonds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Because Easter just passed, I had a bunch of chocolate, so I put chocolate in here. And then I randomly had this desire to, I also wrote down a bunch of stuff on a paper, and I was going to put the paper inside the paper bag. And then randomly, I ended up twisting it and folding it, and it reminded me of a spider. And then I also blew into these sticks, prayers and special messages, and just randomly, spontaneously, this came together. It's like a little paper spider. It's nothing fancy, okay? But the intention and the meaning behind it, of course, makes it priceless, right? And so I'm just going to put this back on top here. So I like working with fire ceremony. I blow into sticks a lot. It's the fastest way to transform anything, to let go. Yeah, and I do have days where I swear that's all I do is fire ceremony. Let me know if you can relate. So I just put that on top, representative of weaving a web. And there was also something froggy about it. It was like a spider slash frog. I still don't really get it, but hey, I'm open. Spider slash frog. Anybody out there knows what that might mean. Uh, Moving forward in my life with the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, like the prayer that I'm sending out. Yeah, it's about me and my life, but it's also about the collective, because without the collective, without people tuning in to my shows or the conferences, well, then what am I doing? Like, it's nice just to do that on my own, but the point is to have a community, right? So I put my business card here, representative of everybody, and like just the collective being part of my prayer. There's my book series. It's interesting because I offer all these services, but um, according to my book series, I've never made predictions before, so it's going to be interesting. And I'm not going to be shy about it either. But in my book series, it's predicted that the services I offer won't even be available to the public. So if you want to book a session with me, book it now while they're available to the public. Because according to my book series, people who volunteer for the conferences and that kind of stuff, my services I'm going to be gifting to them. And we're going to be a little bit tighter of a knit community because of that. And that's part of Project 30. There's 30 of us, and we work as a group of 30. We work as 2 groups of 15. We work as 3 groups of 10, 15 groups of 2. We're international, we're scattered, but we do get together time and time again in the future, all 30 of us, and we do things like contribute to the greater good in terms of administrators and healers alike coming together to provide services. So that's all part of my prayer. I randomly put contact lens case here just to help me with my vision, remove old visions that don't suit me anymore, to have a narrow vision for this despacho. And again, the Huaca, I feel like, enough time has passed and I haven't gotten a louder, clearer message from the universe. And so maybe I just need to see it, whether it's with my ears or another sense. It doesn't have to be my vision, but to heighten my awareness. And then I have these markers. I intentionally left the cap off. Symbolically, I do that because then I know with conviction that one don't, it's not there. But I also, when I put this here, uh, it's just reminded me of like a sword. Like a sword is very sharp. Be careful with the edge, just like you would be careful with a marker that doesn't have its lid on. You might get marker stain on you, even though it's washable. We're working with metaphors here, right? And these markers are really special because I do spirit work with them. And so I wanted to work with the metaphor that these swords, these spirit tools, are part of my vision of my future and what I'm asking the universe to support me in. And I go through a lot of these markers. So if there's a better way for the environment, I would prefer that. And I also go through a lot of tape. So I uh, I wanted to express humbleness that I'm aware that doing spirit work is actually causing me to pollute. So I just think that's interesting. And then this here, when you do a despacho, you need to, give thanks and praise, honor. But at some point, you need to actually make your request, right? And so I like the eagle condor medicine where you just focus on the bigger themes. But when you're doing the despacho, it's like time to zone in on the details. So I've been looking for housing, for example. condo, top floor, and there's other details too that I desire, and so I put that in here. And then there's like other special messages and prayers that I said. And then finally on this side here, this is really special. I've been saving my cat Rosie's whiskers. So there's a bunch of whiskers in here. I just find them randomly on the carpet. And one day I thought, I don't know why, I just feel like I need to keep this. And um, there's a handful of times when I'm doing fire ceremony, if it's something really special, instead of taking a little piece of wood like I do, I'll take one of her whiskers. They're ethically sourced, right? I find them on the carpet. And they've just been collecting now. And I thought, what can I give as an offering for my despacho? And I thought, you know what? Like tomorrow is never promised. And I don't know, like, I mean, Rosie's life tomorrow is never promised either. But if I wanted to give like a final hurrah, then I'd want to give my best wine, if you will. And so I thought I'm not going to be shy to give like one of my best resources, and that's Rosie's whiskers. And if for some reason, Rosie died today and I no longer have access to her whiskers, then I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that. The last of the whiskers went towards this. Know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe I won't collect her whiskers anymore. Let me know if you collect your cat's whiskers. Um, Again, I just find them on the carpet. So sometimes I feel uncomfortable talking about Rosie's whiskers and me doing that because I know there's all kinds of stories about dragons in particular, where if you find like a dragon's scale or a dragon's heart, then you do whatever with it and your wishes come true. And so I just really want to emphasize these were ethically sourced, found them on the carpet. And then I did other things, like I sprayed perfume on it. I sprayed lavender oil, essential oil, and it just smells good now. So there's, like I said, there's a passion flaky in there and chocolates, and there's some pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I've blown all kinds of prayers and wishes into it. Oh, and so now you can't see it, but I've got my shaman's mesa that I use, and I have my kuyas, my special stones, and I have that paper bag sitting right in the middle of it, right on top of my lineage stone. So this Friday, April 17th, the official full moon, I will probably be burning that. I might do it tomorrow, Thursday. We've been having rainy weather here, and it can get cold and damp in the morning. So I like to aim to do it early in the morning when it's still dark outside. I'm an early riser, so having a fire ceremony at nighttime outdoors, I love it, but it typically doesn't work for me unless I'm camping, and that's like what I'm doing, right? Um, but anyways, the point is that I might do it in the daylight because I don't want to be out in the rain. I want to do it. Oh, and when you're burning a despacho, you're not supposed to watch it burn, because the intention is that you're calling the spirits in, so they come, right? And um, out of respect for the spirits, you're not supposed to look. That way, if they get revealed or whatever, there's a level of comfort. You don't see them. So when I'm burning the despacho, I'm going to have to, poke it around to make sure it's burning. But outside of that, I won't be watching it. And in the past, I've done all kinds of ceremonies that you can find on my YouTube, and I record glimpses of it, right? But I'm not going to be doing that with this despacho. Oh, and I put a snail shell in there. I found a snail shell outside. It's hard to believe because we're having chilly weather today, that I found an empty snail shell just a few weeks ago. And I thought this is some kind of sign to um, to add this into my despacho. And the last time I burned a snail shell for my fire ceremony, it wasn't a despacho, it was just like a regular fire ceremony, and I was making it extra special. The snail shell, to my surprise, it expanded, and like a cinnamon bun, the swirled part went up, and it held its shape right until the last, like it was literally the last thing um, to dissolve to ashes. And even when it was in its ash form, it still held its form. And then finally, it just started to break away. So, so that's really cool. So, if you know what video I'm talking about, oh, fuzzy flying around here. If you know what video I'm talking about, you can see me poking with the stick, and I even hold up the snail shell to show you. But I won't be doing that with this. I'll just be mixing it around to make sure that it keeps working, you know? And I see, what's her rule? 7, 8, 9. Oi, hello to you. Oh, I know what I forgot to show you. Okay, so I do this a lot. I just forget to mention it because I do it a lot. Let me move my stuff here out of the way. So, in the summertime, I collected random leaves. In the fall, I did the same thing, and just sticks that were hanging around, and I put it in here. And whenever I get like a despacho ready or something, I bury it in here, a representative of the despacho or whatever it is, sleeping and doing its dream thing. So I'm personifying the despacho, if you will. I'm giving it a personality. I'm letting it dream away. And some things stay in here for a long time. Sometimes things stay in here for like a day or two. This has been in here since the last conference, promise, and I'm going to light it for summer days. So I made this like a month ago when I was doing a demonstration, and I put it in here, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it in here to dream away until the next conference. And sometimes I forget I have stuff in here. So then when I go to take stuff out, I'm like looking for it, and it's like, oh yeah. And this here is really special to me because um, it represents the greater beauty prayer, the life, death, life cycle. Everything in here is dead, but some of the colors have faded. You know, like the leaves are still holding their pale colors. And if I get like a new gemstone, I'll put it in here before I use it so it can sleep and transition, if you will. When I have like every full moon, I'll put my tools in the window and let the full moon cleanse it, right? But I also might put it in here if I feel like it needs time, you know? Um, when I do my gemstone readings, whatever gemstone that I have representative of the heart chakra, I'll usually switch it during the full moon if I feel compelled to. I don't always put things in the window, just because the way my room is set up here, the moonlight, it comes in, it's fine, you know. So there's always much to be said. And my something else that I did that I forgot to mention is I've got 2 floras on the go right now. And when I was making my despacho, I poured, like I spritzed a lot on here, and but I actually like poured some on here too, just like letting it blob and kind of um, absorb. So like this green paper, for example, I wrote on it, and then I strategically like dropped, drop, drop. I tend to do things 3 times in a row, 3 times in a row. So 1, 2, 3 drops, 1, 2, 3 drops, 1, 2, 3 drops. And I found um, it's another reason why you want to plan your despacho in advance. You don't just want to plan it on a whim, because um, it's all part of setting the intention right. and it's not going to burn very well if it's soaking wet. And just having it around is like a constant reminder to me about what I'm working on and what I'm manifesting. So let me know how you relate in the comments. Would love to hear. And again, I just want to show you my little advertisement here for Summer Days. It's coming fast. Saturday, June 13th. We're going to be hanging out the day before and the day after. No promises. The presenters will be there. It's just an extended invite, but they will be there guaranteed on Saturday, June 13th. And behind the scenes, finalizing things like the schedule, presenters sending me their image, their biography. There's this big checklist that I have, and I really appreciate that. So if you're the kind of person that you like to be organized and you like to plan ahead, let me check my calendar here. The next conference is going to be Falling Consciously, and that's going to happen on September 19th. That will be followed by Season of Dreams, December 12th. So if you want to present September 19th, December 12th, those are the next opportunities for you to zone in on. Ideally, I would like to have an in-person conference in July. It would be around July 10th. But at this time, it's still pending to be determined. Rosie and I are looking for housing. So anybody out there has a place to recommend for us, please let me know. Somewhere sunny. I'm a Canadian. I do have my passport. And you know what? Even if it's just hanging out at a coffee shop, sharing stories, I'm open to that. But ideally, I would like to get in touch with a hotel, and I'd love to like rent a school bus or something where everybody can go from point A to point B together. I mean, ideally, it'd be nice to go to a resort, but resorts are a bit pricey. So I'm envisioning like an affordable hotel. People can stay at the hotel. Most hotels have some kind of room that you can rent. So we would just rent that room to host the conference during the day. And then at nighttime, we would rent the room to have like a little bit of a party feel. People talking, have a little dance party, call it a night. It would be really nice to take a bus. Again, everybody stay together, right? And go to a local restaurant, to a buffet. I love buffets. There's always something for everybody, right? Let me know if you love buffets too. Okay, Dragon Dreamers, that's all I had to share with you today. See where I'm at next Wednesday. And like I said, the next few Wednesdays or whatever, I need to practice some technology with you. So if you're interested in that, I would love for you to join me live. And that's what I love about this live hangout. It's just me, informal, hanging out. And if you have any questions about my Dragon Dreams Oracle or any of my books that I've written, I'd absolutely delight in answering any of your questions. I just come on here and talk about whatever's going on, but I'm more than happy to revisit a conversation that I had a month ago or whatever. Just remind me a little bit. And if you would like to host me on your show, if you host a show Wednesdays, 1:30 Eastern, at least for the rest of 2026, I am available, and I absolutely adore to be a guest on your show. I love to talk about dreams. I can promote the conference. If you wanted to just talk about the Dragon Dreams Oracle and or my books, or maybe just like one chapter in my book that really resonated with you, I'm definitely open. I do have a master practitioner level training with the Four Winds Energy Medicine. So if you wanted to specifically just talk about power animals, for example, we can do that. We really can. And again, if you would like to be a guest on Story Species Story Medicine, that's the show I host on Tuesdays, and you're interested in being a speaker at one of my conferences, please reach out. I would absolutely love to have you. Always in search of medicine bearers. And on that note, let me just highlight for a final time here, folks from Promise of Spring. We had Julia Anchorhaven helping us out in the chat. And spoiler alert, Julia is going to be one of our speakers at Summer Days, along with our Spiral sister, Sheila Spiral Sister Murray. The other presenters are going to have to wait another week and a half, okay? Also had Brian Rue, really appreciate Brian Rue presenting on community. Suze Gallagher presenting on dreams, her own intuitive practices, and really answering the invitation. All of these presentations are available for free in the conference playlist. So check out my YouTube, follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. And for a final time here, really appreciate Rick Gallagher. He provided us with sound healing on 3 different occasions during the one conference. And Michael Kopp talking to us about the hero's journey, always important. Myself, Gina, I spoke about the Gnome King, dreams, how my waking world and dream world are bridging together. And we had Alex Lipton, really begging the question, one God, multiple gods, and this business of the administration of belief, monotheism. And words like monotheism, I don't use very often. I only remember because it's fresh in my head from Alex's presentation. Mono is one, right? Let me know if you can relate. And of course, presenters like Chris Latier. Chris presented on his own experience as MK Ultra Monarch survivor and former Montauk boy. And Chris actually had his book, Stranger Things. I forget the title offhand now of his book, but it's based, the Netflix series is based on his life, basically, and his experience. And it was removed from Amazon. So show Chris support. You can buy his book directly from his website. The link is there. And in all of the slides that I showed, all the presenters, their links are there. And then for a final time, this one here, this picture with the boats, you're going to be seeing a lot of that because we're going to be promoting summer days probably next week. There's a little mini video floating around with a blank schedule, but I want to make it official and plug the names in of the presenters. Really looking forward to it, letting you know what their presentation titles are called. And so I'm just checking the chat here. And Sheila Spiral Sister is saying, I'm envisioning a bus trip too. Yeah, I like that, eh? I like that because you know what? You go to conferences and people are from out of town. People are renting cars. People are taking cabs. Like, you know what? I feel like my biggest concern would just be keeping people together. And if that's my biggest concern, hey, that's a great concern. Um, then you don't have to worry about anything, right? And if people want to, opt out of the bus, well, hey, they can. So we'll get there. The online conferences, to clarify, they're set in stone. So just to reiterate, this upcoming one is June 13th. It's going to be happening. And the next one, if you're interested in presenting, September 19th and December 12th. Okay, so if you're like, I want my name plugged in, reach out to me now. Reach out to me now. All right, Dragon Dreamers. Whoops, I don't know what I opened here. I don't know if you saw that. It was nothing personal. Um, but I'm really enjoying StreamYard. So if you wanted to get StreamYard, I recommend it. It's user-friendly. And next week or the week after, I want to try going live on Zoom using StreamYard. I want to just kind of play around. So hopefully you'll be here with me. And Julia's here. Hi, everybody, she says. And Julia, it's so great to see you. But you know what? I'm actually in the process of saying goodbye to everybody. Julia and I, we live on different sides of the world. Yes, and Julia, I told everybody about you. Julia's going to be speaking at the conference and monitoring it. So, Julia, I've flashed this picture around. She's saying, okay, bye. But if you catch this replay, Julia, this was in honor of you. And recently put that in my Facebook too. So, Julia Anchor Haven, show Julia some loving. Go to her YouTube channel. Subscribe, like. Julia is always pulling all kinds of tarot cards. She's on there in the morning. I actually set my alarm for this Friday. So, um, you know, I'm an early bird, so 4 p.m. is like my bedtime pretty much, right? So I like to get to bed early and I read, and I'm like a little kid. I need like a lot of transition time. I need to close my blinds and get the darkness in. But I'm up early. I am up early. All right. So Julia is just saying, okay, everybody, goodbye. And Gina, Virginia, Casella, I'm going to peace out here as well. Thank you, everybody, for your time. And Julia's like, that's way too early for bed. I know, okay, but I do wake up early. Like the hours are the same, right? The hours are the same. I wake up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So, anyways. It's just kind of funny. And it's interesting too because there's like the early birds and then there's the night owls. And I'm kind of like before the early birds. And like I'm in that between world where the night owls are going to bed and the early birds are just getting up. I like being up before the birds. I like when I don't hear them and then I hear the birds. That's when I like to start my day. So she says, you are on Eastern time. You are on UK time. I'm all over the place, Julia. That's my thing. I'm on Gina time. That's it. Gina time. We- all right. This time for real. I got to get going. Appreciate everybody here. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Who knows what I'm going to talk about next week? But I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you are too. Take care, Dragon Dreamers. We'll see you